Right.
Alright, we're back again. Let's settle back in here. Alright. Let's go ahead and Alright, let's go ahead and spend our free day. Now we got a whole lot of people to talk to and a whole lot of things to do. We got 6 bonding points, so should be quite the day. Hello, Ferris. Studying for exams? Surely you jest. Come naturally to her. No need for something common as studying. Just the nature of nobility, after all. We have gifts that mere commoners cannot fathom. You got pencil marks all over your hands. Your imagination is playing tricks on you. So, we did find out that Ferris tried really hard to, like, study and learn how to be good at lacrosse. So I wonder, I would imagine it extends to everything, that Ferris actually works quite hard, which is what's kind of sad about how much she struggles seeing Elisa as her rival. Let it lead you any further, you might imply that I've been studying in secret to show up Elisa. Fair enough. Actually, one more sec. We're just going to mute real quick here. Alright. Let's start talking, everybody. Obviously, I can see that there's some of the guys over at the desk, but we're going to lay off on spending time with our classmates just for now while we explore the school grounds. Are you sure you don't want to study with Bridget? Casper is trying to help Alan out here. I mean, she definitely went out of her way to ask you and everything. I don't need her help. Hurry and get back to the dorm so we don't get soaked. Sure, man. Alright. Oh, Mint and Bridget are here. Music room is actually a great place to study during the test period. It's so quiet. I invited Alan along to come study with me, but he turned me down. Maybe he really is trying to avoid me. Don't worry, these two will do whatever we can to try and help them get back together. Or together. I don't know if they were together before, but it seems like there was a connection and now it's separating again. I'm an Orbital Science whiz. My dad's a Reinford employee. He always used to help me study. Gotta say, I'm feeling really good about these exams. Oh, so her father works at the Reinford company. Can't wait to have a perfect score and surprise Uncle Makarov. Help you study. Sorry, I couldn't teach you to save my life. Oh, well. That's alright. If she's good at it, she's good at it. Not everybody's capable of teaching, per se. Hey, it's Klein. Sweets are delicious. Nick. Always helpful to eat something sweet while you study, so I thought it should make my own. Don't eat too many, though. You'll end up too energized to concentrate. Nothing tops having classmates you can count on. Times like these, there's no better way to get your brain going than eating something sweet. That said, I might want to start studying soon. Trying to help everybody else study by making some sweets and not even studying himself. She's still working on this horse. Is there really any need to study for those tests? Should be easy enough to get a decent grade without the panic scramble to study. It's quite the claim. Well, I mean, depends on what you need as far as grades. Everyone's so absorbed in studying for their midterms. I don't think anyone could call my grades amazing, but so maybe I should start doing the same. My parents' threats. If my parents' threats are to be believed, the fate of my allowance depends on it. Well, Colette, gotta do your best. Believe in you. Some teachers in here. Oh, let's check on the principal. First years may not be used to them, but midterms are an important examination that determine your academic future. They test not only your general attitude towards your lessons, but the effort you put in before and after. In other words, they exist for you to display just what you've learned ever since you enrolled here. Stay attentive and give them your all. Thank you, sir. I mean, he didn't really say anything particularly useful, but... Oh yeah, this is where you can learn about the Lionheart medals. I mean, what he said is not untrue, but is also not necessarily helpful. Faculty lounge is off limits while exams are going on. If you want to see a teacher, you gotta knock on the door and ask. You got something you want to ask me? Yes? Orbital science question to ask you. Figure, show me what you're stumped on, I'll get you up to speed. Increase your knowledge of orbital science. I guess we did that. It's probably worthwhile to talk to all the teachers, see what we can learn then. These will be your very first midterms, won't they? I hate to admit, I'm a little nervous too. This is the first time I've come up with questions for them. Should be fine as long as you study up on everything we covered in class. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Let's ask, why not? Art history things. Okay. Students really relying on me for help. Don't worry, Mary. I think you're an excellent teacher. Art evolved in complex ways during the Middle Ages, you see. Getting some more studying in. I know that this is the first examination period for the first years, but try not to let it get to you. Studies are merely meant to shape your future and provide you with unseen possibilities. No pressure. As tough as the exams might seem, put your all into everything should work out in the end. Don't worry about them too much. They just, determine your future. It's fine, though. Make my way home soon. Oh, Bianca's heading home soon, but first I should report back to principal. Exams begin tomorrow. I wish all the very best. Monica! I'm afraid the exam period being over, the exams themselves. When it's all over, I'll have to start going to swimming club practice again. She's being taught by Laura, if I remember. I guess she's kind of nervous about it. Oh. It strains credulity to imagine that anyone could forget their umbrella during such an extended period of rain. Maybe Vincent. Master Vincent has always been one to defy expectations, however. Might I escort you home? We can stroll along, safely tucked under the same umbrella as the raindrops perform their emotional, percussive concert. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to decline your clearly selfless offer. I'll be studying for our midterms right here. Might think about it if you manage to score better than me on these midterms. You've always seemed to be just below. It's always an interesting thing in, how should I put it? Sort of a anime thing to be like, if you score well on your exams, I might date you. I don't think I've ever encountered somebody who thought like that. Oh, Beryl. She loves the rain. Hey, you and I agree. I like the rain. A special trick. Page 44 will be the Orbital Science exam. This is certain. This is fate. Making things up now. What if she does have some sort of special powers? Couldn't hurt to study, just in case. Yeah, we got some more knowledge. It's the benefit of going around talking to everybody. Let's go to the front entrance, since we already talked to everybody in the school. Hey, it's Rosine. Graciously enough to offer help me with my studies. She does so much for me without expecting anything in return. I really do appreciate her kindness. Well, I mean, you're working at the church. Sort of the whole idea to give without asking. There happen to be a few subjects I'm not entirely confident about, so I felt like I should take her up on the offer. Alright, well, that's cool. What's going on over here? Oh, it's Becky. Shut it, Hugo. Not taking advice from you. I can memorize everything in one go the night before. You won't be able to remember anything that way. The trick of memorization is to study just before you go to bed. When you wake up, you review everything once more to seal the deal. It's easy, and it's efficient, and best of all, it works. You should try it too, Rien. Might as well give it a shot. You learned an efficient memorization method. That's cool. Now she's working. Get advice from Hugo. He's trying his best to help her out, but she isn't having any of it. It's interesting when it's raining, you can't sprint. Hello, janitor. Good grief. Pity any unlucky enough to be caught out in this downpour. Better go make sure that everything in the auditorium stays rust-free. Gonna be some tough work, but at least I have exams. You have exams to study for. Alright, man. Janitor, hard at work. It's a good man. This monk? Yeah. Rainy days are great, especially since you can always find good material in the raindrops. Never fails. Speaking of which, beautiful black cat strolled by just a little while ago. Black cat on a rainy day makes some choice material too. What does he mean by material? There's a black cat. I wonder if she's hiding over here. No, nothing. Normally we'd see yellow dot if there was somebody over there, but maybe we wouldn't see the cat, who knows? Might be terribly cold in the stables right now due to this downpour. Fear not, Whitcomb, I'm coming to save you now. Certainly passionate. Yeah, he's coming over to check on the horses. I mean, they can't really do anything about the rain, so gotta go make sure they're covered up, keep them warm. Oh, we can go do some fishing in the rain. Hey, Adel's getting her plants watered. Rainy days are so lovely. Truly a blessing for flowers and crops. Thank you, Idios. Let's do some fishing. I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to walk up and we're both going to fish together like men. Got him. Easy enough.
What even is this?
There's a lot of salamanders that we catch in here, man.
Not bad.
Hey, carp. Nothing. Not too bad there.
Not bad.
Fishing's pretty easy. Nothing really to say much here. We're just trying to make sure we collect everything. Plus we get a little bit of angler points and some septh and whatnot.
Caught one.
Great crabs. One more. Excellent.
What even is this?
Got another salamander. Oh, Kenneth. How are you doing? Nothing beats do all this. Nothing better to do with all this rain than get some fishing in. I agree, man. Fish always bite better in the rain anyway. Midterms? What about them? Got time to study for exams? I guess we're good on anything we need to buy there. Alright. Let's check out the schoolhouse real quick. While we're here, might as well see if anybody's over there. There is somebody here. Ah, it's Sarah. What are you doing over here? Were you checking out the old schoolhouse? Yeah, take a quick peek inside, though. You're pleased to know you don't seem to be any major changes since last month. That's good. At least it means we can focus on studying, yeah. Really would like to know what's going on with the building, though. Whether we find out more depends all on your investigation. Still, I think you guys are edging closer to whatever the truth may be. You seem to be ready to start with using combat links at a more advanced level, too. Interesting. Advanced level. Yeah, what do you mean? Playing a little tricks and features hidden away. The greater the awareness of your link partner, the more effective your combat link will be. Yeah, so we noticed when you start hitting higher levels, you get more follow-ups. That's where we got the finishing blows for some of the characters. So normally you have your follow-up attack whenever you get a stagger, and then the finishing blow is if the other guy would kill it with one more attack. Sometimes they'll just finish it off without needing to take a turn. Try it during your next investigation. I don't really see what she's trying to get at. Try to see what the old school are. Last thing I need is the vice principal breathing down my neck before we do anything about midterms. Chances are they even stop investigating to make you guys focus more on studies, too. I'd never find out what's going on in the old schoolhouse. Better get back to studying. Yeah, we need to make sure we keep up on our studies. That way they can let us continue to do our extracurricular activities. Certainly something to consider. Oh. That's another bonding point. So Crow and George we can hang out with. We'll do that later. I want to go through all the bonding points all at once, just so we can get like the main plot in one chunk, along with the main plot, I say in quotations. It's not really the main plot, so to speak. A lot of kind of the main characters' plots. There's a famous saying about days like these. Margaritas are always go down smoothest in the rain. That's why I'm so tantalizing when the dark clouds roll in. Just look, don't touch. I think I hit my limit, actually. Oh, that's, yikes. Okay, we got some buildings to enter to talk to some people as well. Let's drop by the, we need to go to the gym, we need to go to the student union, and we need to go to the library. Rex, man, all the cute girls keep chasing me off since they don't want to be bothered while they're studying. What's the point of being on edge this late in the game? What? What does that mean? You either know something or you don't. Cramming now is a waste of time. I guess that it's an interesting perspective. I do know a couple people that will be like, look, if I don't understand it by now, like, obviously we've been going through class, studying it isn't going to make a huge difference. But it's kind of a defeatist way to look at it. Obviously, you can still accomplish a little more if you really buckle in. Oh, the twins. How are you two doing? Yeah, I would imagine Vivi would struggle with studying. Reen here might make things interesting. Oh, will I? I have a great idea. Why don't we have a little Q&A competition? Every time someone gets a question wrong, you have to take off an article of clothing. Hey, you know what? Vivi's obviously joking here. Vivi's obviously joking here, but it is kind of amusing to have somebody sexually, or how would I put it? It's not to say that anybody in this is implied to be promiscuous, so to speak, but they are. It is interesting to have somebody who is lewd, because there isn't really a lot of characters like that so far that we've encountered who like make actual references, because obviously everyone in this setting are teenagers, so that there is some sort of unresolved sexual tension going on between some of these characters at some point, presumably. And Lind is like, wait, what do you mean seriously? Never in a million years. Guess we won't be studying at all then, and that's really her end goal here, obviously. As long as everyone keeps their clothes on, I'm fine with helping you two study. It'd probably help me, too. Study material that might be on the exam. Reen is very clean-cut about how he handles these kinds of things. Vivi obviously makes a bunch of jokes here, but it still comes back to the same kind of thing, where I don't know about anybody else watching, but when I was a 17-year-old boy, I don't imagine that I would have reacted to the thought of a stripping game for studying with two twins in the same way that Reen would have. Perhaps he is a paragon of virtue, but I don't think the teenagers are... I would contest the teenagers are a bit more hedonistic than that in most cases. You're always like this when it comes to an exam season. Highball speaking. Can't really say I disagree, though. The sooner we're done with the exams, the sooner we get back to our clubs. All we can do, make sure they don't end too painfully. Loggins doing his best. And what's the point of studying? Just want to go back to the fencing club. Just wants to fight with swords. Always try to ensure that the cafeteria's menu stays healthy and well-balanced. Well, that's probably a good idea. Should be a good place to eat while you're getting ready for your exams. Recommend the fish. It says good for your memory. I've never heard that before. Well, maybe I have. I don't know if I've ever heard somebody say fish was good for the memory. Every student's least favorite time of year is finally upon us. Well, one of them anyway. Well, I mean, we have other exams. Don't think for a second that you're going to make it through this with a decent grades just by praying. This only helps those who help themselves, which means you got to do a whole lot of studying. Do we have money? Not really. I mean, we have a little bit of money, to be fair, but not like a meaningful amount. I'm just trying to see if there's any like upgrades for equipment really here. Doesn't look like it. You can buy a new Imperial Chronicle though. Everywhere you look, there's someone with their nose in a book and their notes at the ready. The cafeteria is a place for students, so I'm not going to stop anyone from studying here. Happy to pour you some lemon tea if you get tired too. I mean, I appreciate that. Just like, hey, all the faculty and everybody's like, they're all studying, they're working hard. We're all proud of them. Feeling confident about these midterms, Dorothy? Fidelio? I think this is the second time we've seen him in here talking with Dorothy. I never have a problem with classical studies or literature. In fact, I'm very excited for classical studies, letting my fantasies take over as I study works wonders, for instance. How could I ever forget the star-crossed knights, whose love-hate relationship took a tragic turn when they met in combat? Oh. It's the sparkles. Getting all starry-eyed. When I think of it, and the instructor Thomas gives me some of those vibes. So touchy-feely with the other male instructors. Is she trying to imply that he's gay? That Erebonian history and pictures on the shelf. Well, like a comic book, a traditional textbook. Does seem historically accurate, though it can't hurt to read it. The knowledge of Erebonian history has increased. Yeah, that's kind of what we're going for here, is to try and collect everything. I honestly don't know if I know where everything is, though, so... I'm just going to scan as best we can. We're about to begin the study session for the upper-class students in the salon. Only the finest minds have been invited. Naturally, this includes the number of second years as well. It's hard to imagine a better group to study with. Had you accepted my offer, Schwarzer, you'd be able to join us. Though I suppose there's a little point in telling you about it now. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you're getting at, but good luck. Yeah, I mean... Oh well. What's going on in the chess club? Got a match against the upper class chess club just before exams started. And you know what? We won. All thanks to Machias. Hey, Machias pulling and coming in clutch. This is the ringer that they needed. It's every bit as good as I expected him to be. I mean, Machias definitely comes across as a very smart individual, and oftentimes people associate that with being good at chess, but how accurate that is, I don't know. Obviously, people who are good at chess often have a high IQ, but I'm not sure having a high IQ precludes being good at chess. Alright. The library is definitely the place to be for studying. Nice to see you, Rin. We have private study areas available if you need one. You can find them on the up on the far end of the second floor. You'll find all sorts of reference books in the bookshelves too. Should prove rather helpful, I think. Oh, who are you? Oh, just a female student. Any time to read anything fiction with our exams starting tomorrow. Can you imagine how it feels to be separated from your true love? These exams never need to end, so I can go back to reading. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, it's Teresa and Emily. We met Teresa's father. He was all worried about her getting along with commoners and being influenced by the reformist faction. It's so hard, Teresa. Help me. Two of us will get through these together, one by one. Really are hopeless when it comes to studying, aren't you? Thanks for the reminder. Oh, no. Feeling pretty bad about telling myself to just sit down and study. Fortunately, I've got Teresa to help me out. Will you two do your best? A book on horse riding. It's not what I should be reading right now, but I've got to study for exams, not horses. Can't wait to show this to the upper class. Oh, is this, is Paula the one at the riding club? She would be here. Yeah, riding club. Yeah, that's the girl who's in the riding club. Book entitled Political Economics, a primer. Sits primarily on the shelf. Given the subject matter, this book is really accessible. It'd probably make a good refresher. Some political economics studying in. Looking for more shinies. Nothing? Hey, Thomas. Hello there. Did you come along to review some of what we covered in class? Actually, I was just passing by. Come now, there's no need to be shy when it comes to history. Let's get started, shall we? Why don't we have every little thing you might possibly come on the exam? I was gonna say, I mean, it could certainly help us. Get some Erebonian history studying in. Awesome. That's all the shinies. No one else to talk to. Do we got any new books? We do. Sports Beyond Tradition. We'll get that added to our book notes, and we can read it later. Let's actually fast travel a little bit, just because I can't sprint. Drop by the gymnasium. Training hall is locked. Yeah, they don't meet during the exam period. That makes sense. They wouldn't. I would imagine the swimming club is the same. Is it just Elisa and Laura studying up here? That's fine. Can we go into the city? No, we can't. See, Trista is grayed out in the upper right, which means we can't travel over there. Alright, I think that means we've talked to everybody. No shiny things. I'm just worried that I would have missed one of the, like the shiny study material, little bookshelves and stuff that we've been finding. Kind of concerned that we might breeze past one of those without noticing. So we're going to do one more sweep just to be sure we're not missing anything. So we definitely talked to everybody. That's easy enough. Nice thing about Reen being able to sense where people are. Seems to be off limits during the exam period. I thought they said we could knock, though. Anything? No? Okay. What about... Can't get in there. Was this the computer room? That was conference room. Oh, okay. This is the computer room. It's also locked. It's weird to think of a school in which the computer room is locked during a time of study. In modern times, it's really the only place everyone ends up in. Labs of some description. This is what I'm talking about. Worried we were going to miss things. The Fancier's Guide to Erebonian Opera and Paintings sits pompously upon the shelf. Oh, one book covers such different topics. Still, it's probably covers some of the stuff on the exam. Probably worth reading. Gets a little bit more knowledge of art. Cool, cool. Can't complain there. Make a run over here really quick. Anything going on in our classroom? Nada. Okay. We're gonna have to hope that I know enough. I think I covered everything. We scanned all the walls, talked to everybody. Let's spend some time studying with our classmates. Start with Uzis and Gaius over here. He's studying military science. Looks like you guys are tearing through things too, more or less. Got us just as we reach the section on military symbols. Care to join us? Sure, I'd love to learn about that. Just don't know. I don't know a thing about military science until we enter the academy, so I'm not really feeling terribly confident. It's not as though most schools teach military minutiae alongside literature and math. We're all in the same boat here. I was going to say, until you go to a military school, it's not like military science and like tactics and stuff are something that comes up regularly in like regular education. We'd be happy to have another person to paddle. Have a seat. I think Gaius might have made a pun there. Let's all begin. Map marking symbols are used to represent an assortment of different units and formations. This is the symbol for infantry. It's a box with two diagonal lines, creating a cross or an X. Reen, try and draw the symbol for headquarters from memory. Gotcha. Pretty sure this is it. It's a box with a line in the upper quarter, moving horizontally. You can draw the symbol for an armored troop. This should be it. A box with a oval shape in the middle. Now, I have a tough one for you. What does this symbol mean? Box with a... It's like a sideways E. Engineer. Okay, that makes sense. That's easy enough. There's so much to memorize for this class. The fact that we're going in blind makes it even worse. These seem like the raw basics, too. Given that not all of us will end up involved in the military, it does seem a little excessive. But bear in mind that our military science classes teach us how to deal with harsh situations efficiently. I mean, bottom line, a lot of these students are going to end up in military positions, and as a result, knowing a little bit before going into that is just going to be helpful. It's worthwhile no matter what. In that sense, there are plenty to learn even if we can't never find ourselves on the battlefield. And yeah, I mean, understanding military tactics is not a super applicable thing, but you can still learn stuff from that could potentially be used elsewhere. Organization and mapping and planning and all that, it's a universal skill, so that's probably why it's mandatory. If it could save our lives, we owe it to ourselves to do it. Yeah, I mean that too. It could definitely become an issue later. Agreed. Uses Gaius and Reen stayed together for a while longer, continuing to test each other on military science. Strengthened our bonds. Can't complain there. We're going to try to remember those pictures. Hopefully I can remember what's going on with all of that. So who else do we need to spend some time with? Let's make a little clockwise circle around here. We'll go hang out with Elisa and Laura next. Are you two studying? Elisa probably met up with Laura because she was worried about her. Yeah, she's probably trying to do her best to step in and help out. Figured a lot of art to brush up on. Huh. Probably not the most important subject in the grand scheme of things, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. I've never had to deal with a series of exams right in a row like this. Laziness could very well be tantamount to failure. Would you like to join us? Hey, I got all the time in the world. Exams should be more focused on the basics of illustration. Okay. Let's get started. First question, Reen. We're just standing right here. The two of them are gonna quiz Reen right at the spot. Alright. First question. Elisa, what is a dessin? Isn't that like a sketch? Monochrome lines of varying heaviness and highlight the way the light hits its subject. You think correctly. What exactly is a sketch? Oh, well, two different things, I guess. Portrays the subject roughly with very little in the way of detail. I suppose it could be likened to an early first draft of a drawing. Basically two sides of the same coin, since both are used to start a painting. The big difference with dessins... Dessin? I don't know. It seems like it's a French word. Usually takes some time to finish, whereas sketches are pretty quick. There's a method that's even quicker and more basic than sketching. Any ideas, Laura? That would be... Croquis? Croquis, I believe? So you know your stuff, but maybe that just means we should be studying harder questions. Let me see if I can find some. Reen, if you want, I can ask them this. It's hardly effective to be studying if you don't get to answer any questions yourself. It's okay, don't worry about it. Just give me a minute here. I'll find you a really good one. If you insist. Maybe we should have expected this. He really is a kind-hearted person. It's kind of a cute little triangle going on here. So the three continued their art study session. Improve our bonds. Excellent. Thank you for joining us. Having you around really helped us out today. Don't worry about it, Elisa. Could say the same for you. Laura seems fine now, too. I'm not really sure what was with her earlier. I wonder. Did say anything. Hopefully all this hard work will pay off. The non-martial arts aren't exactly my forte, so it's a little extra studying might be in my best interests. Mustn't get distracted by other issues. There is something on her mind, then. We'll have to figure that out. Stop by the engineering building. What if our senpai have anything to teach us? Hey there, Reen. What's up? George and Crow? You're studying away nice and diligently when your orbital lamp suddenly went out. Swing and a miss. You seem pretty relaxed. What do you think you're talking to? I know better than anyone that it's pointless to start studying this late in the game. So Crow is one of those who's just like, yeah, I'm doomed, so what difference does it make? How's that working out for you? Crow's actually pretty good when it comes to the practical stuff. Travel skills, first aid, all that kind of thing. So he's a reliable kind of guy. All stuff you don't need to study for, but if you're feeling shaky about any of it, I'm happy to teach you a thing or two. Why not? Let's study with Crow. Wait, You serious? The idea of Crow teaching anyone anything is a little unnerving. Oh, were you guys joking? Might as well show you the ropes. Borrow a chair or two, George? Go for it. Hey, man, let's... Crow passed all his knowledge on to Reen. What about sums up we'll be testing the first years on? You should try to make sure you got CPR down, too. I do actually need to brush up on that. I think it'll come up. The only one of the most basic things anyone would expect out of a Thor's student, so it wouldn't hurt to know. I mean, yeah, CPR would be important in a military academy. You want to make sure everybody has first aid training. Like, basic first aid is something that, like, everyone should know, not just, like, military academies. I honestly think that that's something that, like, every person should have basic, like, CPR first aid training. It's not that hard to do, and if everyone at least has a little bit of knowledge, it goes a long way. Here's how it goes. If you find someone who's collapsed, first up is to check whether or not they're conscious. Yeah, I mean, you can usually tell by looking at them, but it's better to check. If they're unconscious, safe to assume that they're in trouble. I mean, generally you don't find people just laying around unconscious, yeah? You're going to want to shout for help. You're not going to want to try and handle this on your own. Got it? Yep, cool. The more people you have helping out, the better chances are to survive. Makes sense. Next up, make sure they are breathing. If they aren't, or something weird about the way they are, it's CPR time. This basically involves giving them a repeated combination of chest compressions and rescue breaths. Yeah, if you keep somebody's heart pumping, they will live longer if you are keeping their heart pumping. So your odds of living, like, of surviving anything is infinitely higher if somebody is giving you chest compressions than it is if they're not. Need to keep this up until their pulse and breathing return. Got it? Don't give up until the very end. Understood? That's the only kind of person I could count on a jam. Yeah, Crow seems, like I said, he's the reliable type. He's not necessarily the most intelligent person, but he's capable. Guess George was right about him being good at the practical stuff. Put it into practice. If you see a girl in need, you better get it right in there. When she wakes up and sees you saved her life, instant fireworks. Your hands and lips are in the right spots already. Oh no. Crow, don't turn it like that. This is what I'm talking about, though. See, Crow is fun that way, that he includes that little element. Every time I think something positive about you, you go and say something like that. This was useful, though. Thank you for teaching me. Taking the time to teach me. Good luck, my son. Go out there and get some good grades for me. Our bond with Crow strengthened. Yay. Can we make any changes here? Customize weapons. I don't have any U material, unfortunately. You might not act like it. Crow's actually really smart. Oh, he skips class all the time. Yikes. He'd probably do well if he didn't. Should be enough to cover you from now. Maybe I should go out and get you to treat me to something if you do well. I mean, it'd be cool to hang out with Crow. Take him out to lunch or something. Alright, where next? We got the Student Union building. Huh, are you two going over history? I can't memorize things like this because it's all pointless. Fee, that's a little harsh. Why don't you join us, Reen? Be happy to help out you ladies. I'm sure you'd make studying more enjoyable for Fee, too. Why not? Grab a seat. Where the exam is going to be focused on the War of the Lions. That's right. Shall we start from the beginning, then? After that, Dreichels gathered students in the Nord Highlands. And in the year 952 of the Sethian calendar, he liberated the capital, bringing a war to an end. Excellent. Well done, Fee. I guess it's stuck. Hey, Fee's smiling. She's having a good time. We're getting there. Incidentally, the war came to an end in July of that year, which is next month. So that'll be easy to remember. They say it was raining in Heimdall that day, but legend has it the moment Emperor Dreichel stepped into the city, the rain stopped. That kind of stuff, when they say that, it seems a little far-fetched. It's not impossible that it's true, right? Like, when people say that kind of thing, you're like, I mean, it could be the case, but it does sound a little ridiculous. That's neat. It's a story that'll stick in my memory. You're a pretty good teacher, aren't you? Using tricks like these to help me remember things. Well, I mean, you have really good grades, so there must be some sort of merit behind your method. Having fun while studying, it makes it much easier for the material to stick in your memory. That's cool. So that's your method. Well, if we can do it, we can do it. Let's do it, Fee. We got this. We'll catch up to Emma one day. Making sure they knew their Erebonian history back to front. Get some bonding points. Everybody's getting along. Spending a bunch of time together. Got some more senpais up the stairs to go hang out with. Angelica. I forgot her name yesterday. I'm so sorry. Hey, it's Towa. How goes the studying? It's probably fine. These are going to be my first midterms, so a little nervous. First years. How innocent. Doesn't help that military academies have a lot of subjects other schools don't. Yeah, it is a little strange. I imagine there's a lot of material that he has like no foundation for. Combat studies and military science are to him too. Oh, you're going to want to make sure that you're ready for political economics exam too. I guess Toa would probably be pretty good for political economics, since she pretty much runs the school. It's Mustache Man's subject. Ah, it's the VP. It's not a very nice thing to call Vice Principal Heinrich Angie. He does seem the type to write a ridiculously hard exam. How about I give you a hand studying for it, if you're free at least? In a heartbeat, Toa. I am happy. We'd study. I'll spend the rest of my bonding points if it means I get to study with you. Political economics is Toa's strongest subject. You wouldn't want to pass this up. Yeah, I like I said, I can imagine she would be quite good at it. Look at all the paperwork on her desk. Heck yeah, if you're offering. Let's get some studying done. Let's get started. Thus, Rin and Toa's study session began. Oh, Angelica's staying to help. Most of the stuff I wasn't sure about is make a lot more sense now. That's good to hear. We should probably go over some current affairs, too. For the exam? The Vice Principal has a habit of putting questions based on recent news into his exams. This year, we should probably go over the recently enacted laws. Sounds like the kind of thing he'd put in there. Just so people could get caught off guard, get it wrong, get lectured for being indifferent about society. I get the impression Angelica might perhaps be speaking from memory. Like a personal experience. Yeah, I agree. Recent laws. The Financial Transactions Act from last year is one of the best known. It requires you to inform prospective buyers the risks when selling them stocks or securities. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. A number of people have suffered massive losses buying shares lately, so it was passed to keep people informed. Okay. So they place the impetus upon the seller to provide more information. That's the history behind the Financial Transactions Act. Then there's the Imperial Transportation Act, which determines the rules of the road for drivers. That was last year. Okay. Then there are more and more people buying cars lately, nobles and commoners, but car accidents are getting out of hand. Well, I mean, that would make sense, right? You have a lot of people... Not only do early cars not really have a lot of ways to protect themselves when it comes to, like, accidents and such, so injury is probably a lot more significant than it would otherwise be. But on top of that, you have a lot of people who don't have a whole lot of experience with driving, right? So definitely something to keep in mind. And that was especially true in Heimdall, which is why the law was enacted there first. Makes sense. It's an urban center. It probably has more cars than anywhere else. Have to try to remember that. And then there's the Provincial Taxation Act, which impacted just about every province you could think of. Otherwise, a fancy name for the much reviled tax increase. They're being enacted in provinces, almost doubling land and business taxes. You've probably at least heard of them. Yeah, it's certainly come up once or twice. Pretty major topic back in Keldic. If he's going to set up a question about a recent law, it's probably going to be one of these three. Hopefully that'll be of some help. Even if none of them come up, you've definitely helped us out. Yeah, I mean, knowing more about modern, like, recent law changes is never a bad thing, regardless of if it comes up in an exam. Feeling a lot more confident now, thanks to that. Didn't know anything at all. I'm just hanging out. If there's anything else you want to know, let me know. Awesome, Toa. You are the best. Get some bond with Toa increases. Look over your notes early on often. You don't want to get flustered on the exam and forget everything and fail. Well, I agree. We don't want that to happen. How the test will treat you. Just make sure to use everything you learned and you should be fine. It's kind of weird to have Angelica speaking so, like, frankly. Normally she's got a lot of jokes and, like, funny things to say, but here she's being pretty sincere about cheering us on. So that's where we are. Wow, when you guys study, you two don't mess around. Better motivator than fear, right? When our exams start tomorrow, we gotta know our orbital science. Okay. Want to make sure I study as much as possible before I can. There's no such thing as being too prepared. Besides, there's the last chance to get a full day of studying in. How about Irene up for our last marathon study session? I'm in. Join you guys for a while. Let's do it. Orbital science isn't quite my forte anyway. Apparently Irene isn't really great at any of the topics, but that's kind of the main character syndrome of being like mediocre or passable at everything. Let's get started with the basics. Orbital energy is generated by septium, right? And it differs from other types of energies in that it replenishes itself over time. Okay, so septium generates power and replenishes itself over time. How does it do that? It's hard to imagine what life would be like without it. Orbital energy is in everything: lighting, railways, telephones, battle orbments. That segues nicely into our next topic. Let's talk about battle orbments. Their first key feature is their portability. The second is the ability to synchronize with their owner, allowing them to easily use orbital arts, magic, for the everyman. Feature 3 is their flexibility. A battle orbment's capability to change dramatically based on the quartz within. Yeah, we're able to make a lot of changes to the orbment, because the orbment is the little phone device, that's what they call them. And all of the little quartz inside make up the orbment and how it has a greater effect on us when we have them equipped. That summary wouldn't have been more perfect if we read it out of the textbook. That's Armachius. Can't believe you could rattle off all that without even stopping to think. If we already have the basics down, try and help me study, focusing on what we really need to study. Reciting information I've learned like this helps stick in memory. Yeah, it's kind of a repetitious method, maybe. Might look flashy, but this is really productive studying for me, too. Everyone needs a method. As I said earlier, it's not possible to be too prepared, and while we still have a lot of ground to cover in our orbital science review, I'd appreciate it if you were able to help me with studying a few others when we're done. Cool. Let's get it done, boys. We got this. Rain, Machius, and Elliot continued their orbital science studies, feeling much more confident about the exam every minute. Get some more bonding done. And that's the end of the day. That's all we got. I think time to head home. Guess head back to the dorms.
Excuse me.
Oh. It's a maid.
I do apologize for stopping you on a rainy day like this.
That's cool. We got an umbrella.
Do you know if this is the building in which I might find the principal's office?
It is indeed.
Oh, yeah, you're in the right place. His office is in the East Wing, first floor. The receptionist might have gone home already, but I can show you the way if you'd like.
Yeah, why not?
Thank you for your kindness. But I couldn't possibly trouble you more than I have already. I'll be able to find the way, I'm sure.
If you say so, but I mean, it's really not that far away.
Well then, if you'll excuse me, Master Reen.
How do you know my name? Suspicious maids.
Wait a minute. How does she know who I am?
My
Reen?
point exactly. Oh. Hey, Elisa has a pink one.
Hey there, Elisa. Heading back to the dorm?
Are we not going to do the classic share an umbrella scene?
Yep. Emma and the others are staying a little longer to cram a little more.
All right, well, we can walk
But
home together.
I figured I'm not going to learn much more today, so I might as well call it a night and start prepping for tomorrow.
Right.
Fair, fair.
Well, you're going my way, so what do you say we head back together?
Why not?
Sure, okay. Hey, it's not often the two of us get to walk back to the dorms together, is it?
I guess not. Is she blushing?
Well, at least I got something good out of this downpour.
And what's that?
Is there even a filter between your brain and your mouth?
But isn't that a compliment?
No need for that between friends. But you're in good company. My sisters asked me that before, too.
She must be a saint to have put up with you all these years.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Anyway, how do you think you did on the exams?
Not sure. I gave it the best I've got.
What, we already had them?
Still, I've got that nagging feeling I could have hit the books a little harder.
Oh, okay.
I wish I was as smart as you.
I guess Elisa is a little bit better of a student than us.
Back when we took the entrance exam, only Emma and Machias scored higher than you, right?
So she was third.
Eustace came in a little higher than me, too.
Oh, fourth.
Back home, I usually came in near the top in exams.
Well, I would still call that near the top.
I guess that goes to show that Erebonia has no shortage of smart people.
Fair enough.
No doubt about that. Bookworms pour in here from all corners of the Empire. You said you're from Ruhr, right? Coming out on top in a city that size is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we heard it's like a technical center, so I would imagine that at the very least the upbringing of a lot of the students there would be rather school-centric.
I suppose, though that was just at the Sunday school level. Aren't you curious about, my family and stuff?
I think he's waiting for you to talk about it.
You mean the mysterious Elisa R., agent of national intrigue?
Yes. Do it, Reen. Tease her. I love it.
Well, yeah, of course I am. But you probably have good reasons for keeping it under wraps, so I don't want to pry.
I respect Reen for this. It's like, hey, I could ask, but when you're ready, you'll tell us, so no rush.
It's not that major or anything,
I mean, if it wasn't, then why not just tell us?
especially compared to what you and Fee have told us about yourselves.
So yeah, Fee, I guess, told everybody what happened.
I've never really thought my family circumstances were a big deal. Though Fee's past sure came as a surprise.
I think we're walking past
I
the
wonder now,
dorm.
when I look at her, what her life in a Jaeger Corps must have been like.
That's definitely intriguing what life would have been like as essentially a child soldier.
It seems like Instructor Sarah knows more about her past than we do.
Yeah, we do get that impression.
Back at the entrance ceremony, I got the impression they'd met before.
I agree.
Same.
Elisa and I she and I always see eye to eye.
Oh, speaking of weird meetings, I ran into someone kinda strange earlier.
Oh?
Yeah, I was talking to her just before you called to me.
Told Elisa about the maid.
A maid who knew your name? This isn't the part where it turns out she knows you because you've tried to hit on her in town before, is it?
Does Reen really seem like that kind of guy?
As if an upstanding guy like me could pull off the Casanova act.
I guess Casanova is.
She seemed a couple years older than us. Maybe 20 or so?
Just guessing women's ages
A
now.
maid in her early 20s.
Something wrong?
No, just thinking. There's no way it could really have been her.
Related to Elisa somehow?
Mother keeps her far too busy to find the time to come here.
I'm suspicious.
Ahem. Anyway, maybe the upper class dorm has a new hire starting out or something?
That's possible, but why would she come to the school? I guess she could check in with the principal, maybe?
Though that wouldn't explain how she knew your name. Maybe you're just more popular than you let on.
Fair enough.
If only.
See, this is what I mean. So, like, Reen gives a very straight, like, clear-cut image that he doesn't, like, have any romantic inclinations. Like, anytime he encounters characters, sometimes there is some sort of tension there, but he always tries to underplay it, and I wonder if that's deliberate. Not necessarily to be like, oh, he's just, the main character, so he doesn't, like, say anything. I wonder if it's part of Reen's specific character that he avoids that sort of interaction. All right. Made it back to the dorms. The next day, the first of 4 grueling days of midterm exams began. All right, see what we can remember, boys. I think I've got this on lockdown. I did prepare for this. The Middle Ages War of the Lions was brought to an end by Emperor Dreichels. When did the war end? It's next month, July, which means it has to be 952. be the right answer. See if we can remember all the tips that we got. Okay. Art question. Mr. A wants to draw a rough, colored watercolor image. Which of the following styles would be most appropriate? Colored watercolor image. Which one would be most appropriate? It's rough, so we're going to go with sketch, because I think that's the most likely. Should be the right answer. Alright. This gives me a lot of Persona flashbacks with the exams in those games. Alright, midterm exam. Figure 1 depicts a military formation. What type of unit is currently advancing? It's not infantry, that's the X. Command is the line. Engineers is the E, which means it has to be armor. Okay, on to the next one. Orbital science. The following statement about orbments all purport to be true, which is not. So orbments change our abilities, yes. They synchronize with their user, yes. Allow art usage without quartz. Orbital energy recovers over time. So that was an important thing. We know they synchronize, and we know they change their abilities. They don't let us use arts without quartz, because the orbment itself needs quartz in it to do that. So that's got to be the answer. Or that's the statement that's incorrect. Okay. Cannot screw this up. We just got 4 correct. We got to get the last one's done. All right. Okay, political economics. Of the following laws enacted last year, which came into force first in Heimdall? Financial Transactions Act was a universal thing, because that was based on just sale. Provincial Taxation Act, they mentioned, was specifically in the provinces, obviously. Imperial Public Transportation Act. I think that's the one. I think that's... because that was about the car accidents, and they mentioned Heimdall was the one experiencing it the most because they had the most transport, like the most cars and stuff. International Criminal Law Act wasn't mentioned at all, so I'm going to assume it's the third one. Okay. Do we have another day of exams? Saturday? That's the final day. Okay. Ah, Sarah's here. We can do it. Okay. Combat studies question. Emergency CPR is divided into roughly 4 stages. Oh, hanging out with Crow actually helped us. Okay. Let's see here. Check if a person is breathing. Check if the person is conscious. Perform chest compressions. Call for help in a loud voice. So it's check if they're conscious first. So we know it's B. And then we call for help. So that's got to be D, which means I think it's the second one here. And then we check if they're breathing, and if they're not, then we perform chest compressions. So I think it's got to be the second one. I think we did everything correctly. At least Reen says all the answers are correct, so I think we did it. Congratulations on making it through 4 days of exams. Wasn't it longer than that? And what do you know? Looks like the rain ended right along with them. The goddess's way of rewarding us for our hard work. I don't think that reason would stand up to scrutiny. Totally spent. We worked hard. We did it. It's over. Well, off all that pent-up exam stress. They'll post the results next Wednesday, so take it easy until then. But don't relax too much. Got a practical exam next Wednesday afternoon, too. Oh yeah, we have a practical exam. Exam with a little more consideration with the timing of your announcement. So next Wednesday is when we'll know where we're going on our next field study, too. Yeah, that usually... So we finish the practical exam, and then we get our field study assignments. So that'll be good to see. Shipping out that weekend on another exotic trip. I can't wait to see what Sarah has planned for us. Anyway, Make the most out of today. We got a day off. Yay. Should probably go to practice. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. Out of town after we're all done here. We'll be back until tomorrow night, so don't burn the dorm down while I'm gone.